Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. What schools are doing to the next generation, what schools are doing to your children is an absolute disgrace. Critical race theory seems to be all the rage. It's completely taken over academic curriculums from K through 12, and of course in higher education as well. And what it's teaching Americans, it's not hyperbole when we say this, it's teaching Americans to hate themselves dependent on their color of skin, and to hate America. I'm not being facetious, it's not hyperbole, it's not a joke, it's not an exaggeration, it's a fact. It's becoming more and more rampant among the youth, and schools are to blame. In fact, it's gotten so bad, and with the data that we're seeing, a poll just found that only about a third of American young adults, late millennials and early Gen Zers, are proud to be American. Only 33% are proud to be a part of the greatest social experiment of mankind, that is the United States of America. If that's not the demoralization of a nation, then I really don't know what is. It's an infection, it's a disease, a virus that's infiltrated the minds of our youth and is mutating into some despicable amalgamation of neo-Marxism that's tearing the country apart from within, exactly like a virus does. Again, it's not hyperbole, I think it's a great metaphor. And so let me show you guys exactly what I mean. Let's go over some of the data, then let me show you guys a clip that just came out from Campus Reform, and then let's just get into the ridiculous worldview that is intersectionality. But before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, meaning YouTube is only sending out our videos to people who are already subscribed to the channel at about a 90+ percentile rate, so just share the video, and of course make sure that you guys have notifications enabled as well. It's the only way to keep up with independent content creators and make sure that you're not just being force-fed CNN and Fox News all day. But enough of that, let's roll the tape. Alright, so let's set the baseline. Here's the headline piece from Blaze Media. Poll finds only 1/3 of young adults are proud to be American. The poll, conducted by Issues and Insights and Tipping Sites, found that among young adults aged 18 to 24, only 36% said that they were very or extremely proud to be Americans. Young adults were also the group most likely to say that they were only slightly or not at all proud to be an American, with 35% saying so. Overall, on the 245th anniversary of American independence, a 68% majority of surveyed adults said that they were very or extremely proud to be an American. Another 15% said that they were moderately proud. Only 6% said they aren't proud at all, and another 8% said they were only slightly proud. And the way that we know that this is a cultural shift born through liberal academia is the fact that senior citizens were the age group most proud of their country, with 86% of respondents aged 65 and over saying they were very or extremely proud. A 75% majority of middle-aged Americans between 45 and 64, and 59% majority of adults 25 to 44 said the same. It's specifically just the youth. We used to laugh about this cultural Marxist movement, intersectionality, white privilege, all these buzzwords that are being thrown around. It was the age of the social justice warrior, the meme videos and all of the jokes that were happening on Twitter and on YouTube. It was so overtly ridiculous, so insane, that your initial assessment would have probably been that Gen Z would come out as based as humanly possible in a rejection to that type of culture. But it seems as though K through 12 and universities are doing such a good job at indoctrinating youth through this doomer worldview that it's become in vogue for young kids to hate their own country. Campus Reform just went to Georgetown University and asked some kids whether they were ashamed to be American, and the results are not exactly surprising at all.
Are you proud to be an American?
No. Not really.
Not most of the time.
No.
I think most of the time, no.
But while it's of course in vogue for them to hate America, when asked if they could name a single other country that they think is better than the United States, well, just take a look.
Can you name a better country than the United States in your opinion? I'm not sure if I can.
I don't think I can.
I mean, there's probably a really tiny European country that's thriving.
Ooh, good question. Europe?
Europe's not a country.
So America is this evil, terrible dictatorship where people aren't free and people are subjugated. Name a single country that you think is better, and not one person, not one individual can name an actual country. Some of them saying there must be a small European country out there, which is a complete fallacy. There is no country on the entire planet that is more inclusive and more accepting of all people from all different races, genders, and creeds than America is. There is no country that takes in the amount of immigrants, refugees, creating an oasis of freedom like America does. These small European countries, for the most part, a lot of them are ethno-states. They have very, very little net incoming immigration. Their countries are essentially isolated and closed off, and to pretend as if there are these inclusive places, free of any discrimination whatsoever, is such a fallacy. Yet we have teachers within the academic system that are corrupting the minds of our youth, convincing them that America and Americans are deeply racist. It's despicable and it lacks any type of common sense, any logic whatsoever. You know that because when it comes to liberal academia, when it comes to Democrats as a whole, you would think there would be some moderation in that practice, some nuance, claiming one thing is racist, being very careful what they label racist. But literally everything, every single day seems to be racist. National Geographic claims 4th of July fireworks are racist. Smoke targets communities of color. Scientists found that vulnerable people in communities of color are disproportionately exposed to air pollution from fireworks celebrations. So just in the last month, we've heard what, and I'm probably just scratching the surface, there's probably a whole lot more. We've heard that birds are racist. We've heard that roads are racist. We've heard that car crashes are racist and disproportionately affect people of color. And now July fireworks are racist. I'm not even going to get into the logical fallacies here because I don't have to. If you have a working prefrontal cortex, and I don't mean working as in working effectively, maybe like a 20% capacity, like the lights are on, there's synapses going on in that part of your brain, you can tell that this is just the most ridiculous analysis possible. Yet it continues. Jemele Hill claims Olympic rules disproportionately impact athletes of color.
Now you have this swim cap ban that obviously affects athletes of color, obviously is an impediment to young black swimmers. And so there is something that is there, and you wonder about these old school attitudes and how they have always, in many ways, disproportionately impacted athletes of color, but in particular black people, because that's who we're talking about here.
Olympic swimming has a rule with caps. For competitive integrity, all athletes must have the same swimming cap. If you sign up to compete in these sports and that's the rule, then you have to accommodate the rule. It's not racist. And then probably more egregious than ever, Jemele Hill is outraged over Sha'Carri Richardson being suspended for a month for consuming cannabis. And I'm assuming that the liberal take is that that's racist as well, or disproportionately affects people of color. I mean, what's the argument that you're trying to make? That people of color have a higher propensity to use illegal substances? Sounds a little bit like Kamala Harris.
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song was
Oh my goodness! Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac. For sure.
What do you listen to now?
Sounds a little bit like a racial stereotype, sounds a little bit like prejudice to me. It's just a scapegoat. Insert social qualm, social dilemma, social problem here. All roads lead to racism. It's a byproduct of systemic racism. It's a byproduct of white supremacy. It's a byproduct of white privilege or microaggressions. But it seems to flip-flop back and forth over and over again. Democrats for years have been claiming that voter ID is racist. Now, all of a sudden, have you noticed how every single Democrat from Stacey Abrams to Raphael Warnock, now to Clyburn states he is always for voter ID after previously calling it suppression. It's racist when it's politically expedient for them. It's racist when they can use it as an excuse to attain more power. But the reality is they're full of it. And these ideas that they're teaching to kids, these ideas grounded in victimology, viewing oneself as a victim and viewing people based on the color of their skin rather than the content of character, is ripping the country apart. They are indoctrinating your children with destructive ideas that are going to create more resentment and less racial unity going forward. It's a hate-filled ideology pitting the blame on someone else, hatred for country, hatred for self, hatred for fellow Americans, and it's truly the demoralization of a nation. As a wise man once said, and as another wise man once said, in respect to liberal academia or liberal academic institutions, hide your kids. Hide your kids, folks, because they're indoctrinating everyone out here. That's what I got for you. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. I gotta get back to work though. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.